Hey gorgeous, we are back today, and today is day 6 of our 30-day manifestation videos challenge. And today I wanted to talk about soulmates. Why does it seem like it's very difficult for some people to manifest their soulmate? Okay, so if you guys remember, in one of my recent videos I talked about how we have 4 bodies. We've got the soul body, we've got the mental body, we've got the emotional body, and then we have the physical body. Well, if you have duplicity in any one of these bodies, you're not going to be able to manifest. You're not going to allow yourself to receive your manifestation, even if it showed up in your field. So let's dissect this for a second, or we can digest it. When you're saying soulmate, you're implying that this person was chosen by your soul, that this is like your other half, right? Like this is a mate, a friend of your soul. Well, what does our soul want on this planet? Our soul chooses things, our parents, our partner, our career, life circumstances based on our growth, and not just like our momentary growth, but the entire growth of the soul process that can go over many incarnations. So when we say soulmate, but we're thinking of someone that's just going to completely understand us, completely get along with us, we're never gonna fight, we're just going to be this perfect power couple. That's not really what your soul may have intended to do in this life. It may be here to learn some really difficult lessons that you are meant to do with this person. So that's one thing you need to consider. The other thing to consider is a lot of us don't really want one person. Really, we want 4 people, because our soul is trying to choose someone else based on our life lessons, right? The lessons that it wants to learn. Your mental body is trying to choose someone that's going to look great on paper. All your family and friends and Instagram and socials are going to be like, this is the perfect person. Like, great, you chose him, right? Your emotional body is going to choose someone based on how he manipulates your emotions, like how he interacts with them. And if you like roller coaster, if you are used to struggle love, that's what it's going to want to manifest, right? If you are used to someone ignoring you, that's what it's going to want to manifest. So then there's the emotional body. Then there's your physical body, that animalistic, this is where the nervous system, chemistry, all of those come in. So this is why, people will make a love list, and it's a mental love list, what they think they should want. And then they go onto the dating field, and then their soul is trying to lead them somewhere else, and their mental body is trying to lead them somewhere else, and their emotions are trying to lead them somewhere else, and then their physical body is trying to lead them somewhere else. This is why a lot of women will fixate on one man, and they're so confused, because in some aspects he works, and in other aspects he's like complete opposite of what they desire. So are you really looking for one person, or do you have these 4 parts of you, these 4 bodies that are pulling you in different directions, and you should be with this person because he looks so good on paper, but this is the one you're attracted to, and this is the one that your emotional body likes, and it can you see that it gets really crazy? So what I have found is that when we are aware of what's happening, we kind of have to choose a sweet spot. We have to choose a sweet spot, and here's why. I'm not saying you have to settle, but here's why there's a sweet spot where all 4 of these things are aligned. Because the person that you're choosing hasn't reached their full potential yet. You haven't reached your full potential yet. I feel like I'm just getting started. Like I definitely haven't reached my full potential yet. So today is actually, when I'm filming this, it's the 16-year anniversary of when my husband proposed. So 16 years later, I still don't think I've reached my full potential. I'm still doing my inner work. My husband is still doing his inner work. We're growing together. So at some point 16 years ago, we had to decide that the sweet spot of where we were on soul level, with our emotional body, with our physical body, with our mental body, it was good. It was good enough for us to say yes, and then continue growing and evolving. There was this magical sweet spot that we had to agree to. If we were waiting for the perfect person in all of those, that may never happen. First of all, because like I said, your definition of soul might be everything's perfect, but your soul wants to learn lessons. It wants to grow. So some things in your relationships will show up that will require you to stretch your container and your capacity to handle things, to learn less, like all the things, right? Like my husband and I are completely different people now than who we were 16 years ago when he proposed. And we continue to change and evolve. But there was this sweet spot of, okay, we're aligned mentally, we're aligned spiritually, we're aligned, we agree on the similar personal values. And this is where I have seen success with clients, is where they are finding that sweet spot with those 4 bodies, and then they're progressing with the relationship, knowing that there's room for growth. Now, this doesn't mean that you're choosing potential in the sense of this guy is a complete hot mess in all the areas, nothing is aligned. Okay, maybe it's just the physical body is attracted to him, the animal part of us. Your family doesn't like him, like he does not make sense to your love list. He doesn't make sense in any other way, but you're just attracted to him because of chemistry. That's not potential. That's gonna be a hot mess of a relationship. Even then, I will say you can still learn your lessons. Maybe you can still learn your lessons, but you can see that that's not someone that's going to grow with you. That's not someone you can hedge a bet on. Hedging a bet means that the ingredients in all 4 of those categories are there, and there's room for improvement. There's room for growth. There's more that can happen. So that's the difference, right? You're not going to take someone off the street and then hope that through some miracle, they're going to suddenly align. That's not what I would recommend. Also, this is huge, and this is something I've learned from my culture, is the vetting process needs to include people other than you. When we are in something, especially as women, we don't have a lot of history of choosing our own partners. We just don't have that history. And this isn't like, is it right or wrong? It's just like, we don't have the history. It's just a scientific fact. We never chose our own partners, right? So because this is something that's new, we do want to involve other people. So for example, if a client comes to me and they say, I really love this guy, he does not meet my love list, okay? He has this, and this wrong with him, but I'm just so attracted to him for some reason. And the first question I will ask is, what do your parents say about him? What do your friends say about him? And if she says, everyone hates him, everyone is warning me against him, that's a red flag to me, I'm sorry, right? Now, in some circumstances, of course, you can come from a family where the right guy doesn't vibe because they're all used to choosing the wrong man. But that's rare. It's rare that all of your family and friends, all of them, will say this guy is a walking red flag and he doesn't meet your love list, right? The only thing he's got going for him is he's cute and you are sexually attracted to him. To me, that personally, that's not someone I can hedge my bets on, because is he really willing to grow with me? I know I'm going to keep growing. I know I'm going to keep doing my inner work. Is this guy someone I'm going to outgrow in 2 years, in 3 years, when I'm way over there, and he's still doing the stuff that he's been doing for the last forever, years, decades, right? And remember, with a marriage, you're bringing someone into your family and you're becoming a part of their family. So it's not just your decision, really. It is a community decision, because now this person is a son-in-law, a brother-in-law, a father to your future children. So there are a lot of things, and I have found that if we really look at it from the 4 bodies, and then we involve our friends and family members, especially men. Oh my goodness, men are really good at judging other men, especially older men. If you have a brother, a cousin, an uncle, a pastor, dad, someone that's like over 40 and has seen a little bit of the world, right? The age is more subjective. Like, if there's someone in their 30s, but they've been through a lot, they've seen the world, versus, someone who's over 40, but maybe they haven't seen much of the world. But someone that's like worldly, take this person to them, let them meet them and ask for their honest opinion. That is something that I took very seriously when I was rotational dating, because I wanted to make sure that my dad, and I had a friend, her husband was someone I really looked up to. I took Irfan to their house and we had dinner together. I wanted to get a variety of experiences and opinions on things that they could see that I can't see. I was 27 at the time. I don't have that much experience judging men. I don't have a lot of experience judging the world. So I wanted to make sure that people that had a different set of eyes, a different set of lenses, a different sense of experiences in life could also help vet this person. So if you can break it down, if you're dating someone and you're super confused, if you sit down and journal on this, you will find that it's because one or two of your bodies are aligned with this person and the rest of them are not. And so, zoom out a little bit and say, okay, this marriage isn't just for a 1 or 2 year thing. This is for, depending on your age, 50, 60, 70 years. You have to look at the longevity of it. Sorry, the sun's doing some weird things on my face. You have to look at the longevity. Does this person fit into the standards of my family? Not only just what I've created on my love list, but does this person fit into the standards of my entire family unit? Look at all of that and then actually get some family members to vet this person with you. It doesn't mean you have to listen to everything they say, but take in their opinion. For example, there were a couple things with Irfan, my family and friends all loved him. However, there were 1 or 2 things that they did point it out. And that was useful to me because I had to really sit with it. And I said, is that okay with me? A couple of them are saying that this might be an issue for me, this particular thing with him. Am I okay with that? And after really contemplating it, I decided that it was okay, that that's something I could work with. And I was able to work with it. It wasn't easy, but I was able to work with it. But can you see that that information was gold? I had not picked up on that. They picked up on it. They told me about it. I had to agree to it. I had to say, okay, can I live with that? And then it was difficult. And then I lived with it. And then as we did inner work, he grew out of that thing. But I knew what I was getting into. If I didn't, I probably would have freaked out later after marriage when I discovered that him and I are so different in this one area. So these are the kind of things that can come in when we involve other people in the vetting process. I personally think that when we are going through huge life transitions, engagements, marriage, having children, empty nesting, changing jobs, divorces, you need to hire a coach or mentor. That is something that I stand behind. Find someone that you resonate with because you need support in those areas. Navigating those areas by ourselves is something we've never done. If you really think about it, we are social creatures, we're tribal. We've lived in small communities with a lot of support, and that comes with cons and pros. Not gonna say it was all buddies and roses. However, that's how we're evolved. We're used to having support. So find support. If you're lucky enough where you have supportive friends or family members, then work with them. Let them support you during those life transitions. But if you don't have people like that in your life where you're like, no, we're not on the same page, hire a coach or a mentor that can help point things out that you might not be noticing because you're in it. That is something that has been a game changer for me, is having support when I'm going through huge life transitions. So let me know one big key takeaway in the comments. I'm actually using your comments to decide what next content I'm going to make and even what next course or masterclass I'm going to be making. My video on how to manifest in any emotion got over 100 comments in like 24 hours. So I got so much juiciness in there, and I know you guys really resonated with that. Side note, so yesterday I was having a day. I woke up and I had like a pretty full day yesterday. And then a couple things happened right in the beginning of the day. Some people pushed their meetings with me. Things happen, and all of a sudden, mid-afternoon, and I find myself in a state of overwhelm because now I'm trying to juggle people changing the schedule and all of these things. And I don't know if you guys can see, but I have a yoga mat and like a back roller here in my office. I'll post a picture on Instagram because I don't like sitting for a very long time. So if I'm sitting for 30 to 40 minutes, I will get on the ground, stretch, do my back roller and stuff. So I was on the ground. I'm thinking, why am I feeling so overwhelmed? And I worked through it using the process I shared with you in that video, which I'll link in the description box. And yesterday, 3 huge manifestations came in, like huge. These were things that were on my vision board and I had almost let them go. Okay, there were a few like business things. All 3 of them suddenly aligned and showed up yesterday. However, if you look at my day, I was pretty overwhelmed yesterday. So even in the midst of my overwhelm, I was able to manifest, because it doesn't matter what emotion you're feeling. It matters with what you're working with, how you release it, and what is your state. When I was overwhelmed, that was a signal that I needed to drop into my body and release the overwhelm and open my heart. So when I was able to do that, 3 huge things came in. I'm telling you this story because a lot of people I saw in the comments under that video think that if you are having a bad day or if you're having a bad moment, that all of your manifestations will stop, like the momentum will stop, or God forbid that you'll manifest something negative. No. Remember that we manifest today the thing that we've been doing, not what we're doing today, but the thing we've been doing, what our vibration has been, what our frequency has been. There is this delayed process, and thank God. If it was instant, the minute I was feeling overwhelmed, more things of overwhelm would show up. But it's not instant. There is a delay period, and that's the period that most people don't like, because I know, I get it, I'm very impatient too. But thank God for the delay. Thank God, because that delay helps us see if what we're creating. And like yesterday, I noticed I'm overwhelmed. I was able to work through it before it manifested into something. In fact, because I wasn't overwhelmed the previous days, I was in very good, clean energy. My heart was open. Now, regardless of what showed up, I was able to move it through my system, keep my heart open, right? Yesterday, 3 big manifestations came in. So I hope that is proof that whatever you're manifesting right now, you are manifesting it. It's coming in regardless of your current state. That is just a signal for you. It's information of what needs to be processed and released. All right, loves, I love you. Leave it in the comments. Give this a thumbs up. More are coming. And interacting with you, going back and forth in the comments is like making me love this challenge that my son has given me, 30 days of manifestation videos, even more. By the way, tomorrow we are doing the wormhole master code. This is going to quantum your manifestations, because I'm going to teach you how to collapse time, so that what you think is going to take you a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, it doesn't need to take that long. And I'll give you the exact process that I use to get my manifestations faster, because time it's an illusion. It's subjective, right? It depends on your nervous system state and how you're processing stuff. So if you can change your nervous system state and change how you're processing reality, then the time doesn't matter. So we're working through that tomorrow. You need to sign up for this. The price is going to be going up of this master code. The way it works, if you sign up today, you show up tomorrow live for 2 hours with me, where I do the training. We have some workshopping as well. Then next week, we have the Q&A, where I can go into your specific situations if you want to bring them up in the Q&A, and we can work through them in the Q&A section. That's usually my favorite, is the Q&A anyway. So you get to have both. And there's also some pre-work in there. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow in Master Code, in the Wormhole Master Code. Links all in the description box and pinned to the first comment. Bye, love.